Welcome to Insights into Success, where with your host Paul Dodds, we hope to educate, inspire and motivate you to achieve your own personal success. We talk to guests from all around the world from a variety of walks of life to hear the realities of their own journey to success. What challenges have they faced? How have they coped with failure? And what have been the keys or will be the keys to their own success? In our Read to Succeed interviews, we talk books that have inspired our guests, and for some, they share their secrets to marketing success. Join us as we give you insights into success. All right, well, welcome back to Insights into Success, where we're doing a special segment called Read to Succeed. My special guest is Jason Paris, who's the CEO of One New Zealand. Jason is an avid reader, and he's agreed to share with me and you several books that he's read that have inspired him. So, Jason, take it away. Tell us about some books that have really been quite meaningful for you.
So, Paul, I'll talk about three business books and then one other. The first one that I've read probably the most, I've probably read it 10 times, is American Icon. It's the turnaround of Ford Motor Company by Alan Mulally, who joined from Boeing when Ford was nearly on its knees and going into bankruptcy. And he's an engineer by trade, so has a different skill set than me, who's come through the ranks sales and marketing. And so his approach to business turnaround very complementary to mine. And so I've learned a lot in terms of the methodologies and his approach to work and to business. The second one is The Heart of Business by Hubert Joly. So Hubert was the chairman and CEO of Best Buy. Again, another turnaround, but instead of his turnaround being driven from an engineering basis like Alan's, his was driven by a cultural basis. So his view is that if you can link an individual's personal purpose to the company purpose and show a link, then you get unbelievable value exchange where people every day are coming to make sure the business succeeds, because if they know the business succeeds, then they will personally succeed.
Yeah.
The third book is Malcolm Gladwell's The Outliers. And so this is a series of case studies on different people from a whole bunch of different industries and why they have disproportionately succeeded in business, in the arts, in sport. And in each one, he gives examples of reasons for success in industry. So who are the outliers in the industry who have disproportionately succeeded and why? So all three of those books are business books. And then because you've asked me about books, I can't not mention my wife's book that goes on sale next year. She's writing a psychological thriller called See How They Fall, and that goes on sale. It's in April next year in the US, Australia, and New Zealand. And so I've been her kind of chief editor until the proper editors came along. So I've read it about 30 times. I've read a lot of psychological thrillers. It's what I read outside of business books to kind of escape. And I'm really proud of her because it's an absolute cracker. And it's even been picked up by a production company for Netflix as a series. So I'm really proud of her, and she's transitioned out of being a lawyer into a writer over the last couple of years. So that's probably going to be my new favorite book once it goes on sale.
So the challenge for us is what I like to do is have on their website, we publish the profile of each book, including a link to Goodreads or someone like that, giving a bit of an overview on the book. But of course, with that book, it's not been published yet. So you'll have to keep us informed so that when it is, we're able to share that link with people and they can actually go and have a look at it.
Yeah, I think her website's live now, so I'll flick you through the website. You just won't be able to buy it yet, and at least people can get a feel for her book and follow her on Instagram and see how she goes.
And tell me, just getting back to the other books, do you strategically pick books based on what you feel that you need to learn
Is it calculated like that, or have you just simply people have suggested books and you've read them and they just happen to have, you know, had elements in them that have been of value to you in your business journey?
It's a mix. When I started at Vodafone, I just used Google on business turnarounds, and American Icon by Alan Mullally came up as a recommendation. I went to an event where Malcolm Gladwell spoke, and bought his book after seeing him and thinking he was super impressive. And then the turnaround of Best Buy, The Heart of Business, was recommended by my business coach. So you get inspiration in all sorts of ways. There's no real common thread, but I've always got my ear out when I'm talking to people about business books, and this conversation will help. Paul, have you got a book that you stand out when someone asks you? You go, here's the book that comes to mind every time.
Oh gosh, yeah, I've read a few books. What books inspire me? So I like a lot of business books. I do, but I also like historic stuff as well. One of the best books I've ever read. It's a massive book. It was actually about Ulysses S. Grant, who is the top general in the Union that fought against the Confederates and succeeded, and then he became president of the United States. So that's a really interesting book. I thought it was a really interesting book because there's been a lot of commentary over the years, particularly from writers from the southern parts of the states, and they tend to have a bit of a influence, I guess, on their perception based on Robert E. Lee and him being from the South. So this one I felt was a lot more objective in its account of him, and certainly didn't portray him to be perfect at all. In fact, he was very imperfect. But that's part of what really attracted me to him, because he was just a genuine human being. He had his issues just like everyone else, but he was an outstanding general, a far greater general than what a lot of people would give him credit for. So that book was really good.
No better leadership insight than when it's life or death, right?
Oh, absolutely.
The decisions that you're making in those environments, either as a general or as a president, there can be no more significant ones. It'd be A, and then B. History is often we forget the lessons time and time again.
Great teacher.
It is a great teacher, isn't it?
Yeah. Another book which I haven't long finished, which is really good, The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. I don't know if you can see that.
Look at that. Look at all those little post-its that you've got in there as well.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask you about that. What do you do with your books? Do you like highlight them? Do you take notes, or do you do this, or what do you do?
So I use an app called Evernote on my phone because I find it's actually just writing it down helps me remember it. And then I used to write it down in a notebook, but then it was got so full, and then I can't carry all my notebooks with me, but I can carry a digital notebook. And so often when I'll go back to what was that, and I'll search back through my notes on different books and look at some of the things that I remembered then, and it's kind of like a little coaching book on moments of inspiration and insight. So that's what I use as well. I write notes on Evernote when I'm reading books.
And the other thing about reading, I was going to, like we talked about it before recording, your style of reading. You like to use hardcover books normally?
I love nothing more, seriously. Reading newspapers, like when I was living in the UK, going and buying the Times, the Independent, the Guardian, and quality writing. And I would read an opinion article in the Times, and I agree with that. And then the Guardian would have a different view, and I'd go, oh, no, that's right. And then Independent would have a different view. But the quality of the writing, it was just phenomenal. And I like that tactile feel, which is weird being in a digital industry, clearly, but nothing better for me than a physical book or paper in my hands. I love that much more than ebooks, but that's just me.
Oh, look, I'm with you too. I mean, my view is that I'm online all the time, So I'm looking at computers all the time. I'm looking at my mobile phone all the time. So it's just a nice respite to actually have a physical book and look at that as opposed to having an ebook.
Yep, all day.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate all your time. It's been really enjoyable and definitely insightful. So I can now appreciate a lot more as to how you've got to be where you are. So thank you for sharing. Appreciate it.
All good. Good to chat, Paul.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, mate.